He's trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
Floyd Mayweather recently paid a visit to Shakur Stevenson's training camp ahead of his showdown with Teofimo Lopez, and his message couldn't have been clearer. Mayweather openly praised Shakur as the best fighter in his weight class and made it known that he's willing to pass on his knowledge and experience. The goal is simple: help Stevenson sharpen his skill.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want and make the fights happen.
Elevate his game and push him toward an even higher level in his boxing career. Inside the camp, Shakur Stevenson is completely locked in, obsessing over every detail of his preparation. For the Teofimo Lopez fight, he's drilling speed, footwork, and defensive fundamentals while fine-tuning combinations and overall ring strategy. Each session pushes him closer to the edge, sharpening his reflexes and
my wife, you just sleep yet? Most people know if you wake up, they think with
strengthening his endurance. The discipline, intensity, and consistency on display make it obvious that Shakur is fully committed to controlling the fight and asserting dominance on fight night. At the same time, Stevenson is fueled by a strong desire.
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
To silence anyone who still questions him. Despite his accomplishments, he believes there's more to prove. Every fight is an opportunity to erase doubt and further establish himself as one of boxing's true elite talents. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur spoke with calm confidence about his upcoming clash with Teofimo Lopez and directly addressed his critics. He stated that Lopez has never faced a fighter on his level and believes he'll challenge him in ways no opponent ever has. Stevenson also shared his thoughts on how Lopez would fare against elite fighters like Terence Crawford, suggesting Lopez would struggle and likely be overwhelmed, while giving Lopez credit for his ability.
Ooh, I mean, that's their opinion. Like, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not going to say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event. It seems like, I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him. But I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager,
Shakur made it clear he doesn't view him on Crawford's level. He also touched on his promotional situation, explaining that while he had considered leaving Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's involvement now provides strong backing and structure for this major bout. The comments showed just how seriously Shakur approaches both preparation and the business side of the sport. Analysts have thoroughly dissected the matchup, pointing out key strengths and vulnerabilities on both sides. One major concern for Lopez is his difficulty against movement-heavy opponents. Although Lopez is explosive, athletic, and capable of overpowering many fighters, he often struggles against opponents who move smoothly and force constant adjustments. That weakness becomes especially dangerous against Stevenson, whose footwork, timing, and patience allow him to frustrate and control aggressive fighters. Boxing analyst Bruce Carrington has noted that Shakur's ability to manage distance, change angles, and place Lopez in uncomfortable positions could neutralize his offensive bursts and create countering opportunities. Lopez thrives when he dictates the fight.
Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like, Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only time.
But Stevenson presents a challenge unlike most he's faced: Shakur's defensive awareness, combined with his ability to control rhythm and spacing, limits Lopez's clean chances. The consensus is clear: raw explosiveness won't be enough. Lopez must stay disciplined, adjust strategically, and pick his moments carefully, or Stevenson will dictate the pace and punish every mistake. At its core, this fight reflects a familiar theme: technical mastery versus raw athleticism. Another perspective suggests Lopez tends to rise to the level of elite opposition, with his ceiling increasing alongside the quality of his opponent. Against someone like Stevenson, Lopez is forced to operate at his absolute best, relying more on timing, reflexes, and ring intelligence than emotion. This bout isn't just a test of strength or power, it's a test of mental sharpness and Adaptability, analysts believe Lopez can rise to the occasion, but only if he controls his aggression, avoids predictable patterns, and stays disciplined against a fighter built to—
Teofimo Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring, but I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". I mean, these are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was a